For all my followers, subscribers, or you just a cat that likes to come to the channel and listen in every once in a while, I got a disclaimer for y'all before we start. I recorded the audio for this video while I was driving home from work, and while I was on the highway it started to rain real bad, so throughout the video you might hear some cackling in the background. Towards the end of the video you're going to hear a lot of cackling. I apologize in advance for the noise. It was the rain hitting my windshield. Alright, back to our regularly scheduled motherfucking program.
When you hear the name Vasyl Lomachenko, do you want to fight him eventually?
I got that. Well, let me answer that question. I said this before. There's no rush. And as you guys see, Lomachenko has to rush. He's 30 years old. You know, 30 years old, I don't know how old he is. He has to rush. This kid is still young. There's no rush. We're going to take our time. But one thing I want to say is that we're not ducking or dodging any opponent. But
get the fuck out of here! Are you kidding me? What's good? It's your boy 2K here. Yo, Vasyl Lomachenko didn't take too kindly to Floyd Mayweather's response to that chocolate chip, biscuit eating, ham hock slurping, turkey neck sucking, chitlins gurgling motherfucker that has fat on top of fat that overlaps other parts of fat on his body, Dan Rafael. You know what I'm saying? He didn't like that response. Of course, I'll do a little recap just in case you guys forget. Dan Rafael, shortly after the Vasyl Lomachenko Getamo Riggandi out meeting, because that wasn't really a fight, he tweeted that Vasyl Lomachenko would give a Floyd Mayweather in his prime at 130 pounds trouble and may possibly even beat him, right? Well, Floyd responded to that in a nutshell, said, hey, you know, I've never really fought smaller guys, you know, in my career. Pretty much saying he's been the smaller fighter, which rings true. You know what I'm saying? If you look at his career as a whole, a lot of cats outweighed Floyd Mayweather, right? Diego Corrales came in fight night. He outweighed Floyd Mayweather by 10 plus pounds. Marcos Maidana, both his fights, specifically the second one, he outweighed Floyd Mayweather by 20 plus pounds. I believe it was 26 to be exact. You know, he moved up from 130 as a professional all the way to 154. You know what I'm saying? When he was a amateur, he fought at featherweight. You know what I'm saying? I think his featherweight as an amateur is 132. You know what I'm saying? So that's really his weight, you know, between that 130 and 140 mark. But he took it an extra 14 pounds and moved up to 154, right? So he's always pretty much been the smaller guy. And he also said, you know, Vasyl Lomachenko don't really have too much power. And I've already assessed Lomachenko's power. He's not the guy that's going to knock you out with one punch. You know, he's not like a, you know, Julian Jackson, you know, old school Edison Miranda. You know what I'm saying? Gennady Golovkin, who could sleep niggas with one punch. Same thing with Sergey Kovalev. He's not those guys, right? The way that he gets his knockouts, man, he just overwhelms cats. You know what I'm saying? And then they get fatigued as the fight wears on because it's just too much volume. And then not only do they become physically fatigued, but they're also mentally fatigued because they don't know what the fuck they can do, right? They got a guy with just so much volume that continues to keep throwing punch after punch after punch after punch, and you know, they're trying to do something about it, but they can't. It's just too much volume, right? But anyway, so he's right in both those statements. Well, of course, Vasyl Lomachenko comes out in his tweet. The first one was a picture of The Rock when he was in the WWE, and he had he was gesturing for motherfuckers to come and get some, you know what I'm saying? And he tagged Floyd Mayweather when he did that. Basically like, well shit, come fight me then, motherfucker, right? I don't have no problem with that. Vasyl Lomachenko is showing that he's got the fighter's mentality, right? If a motherfucker talks shit, well, hey, come get some, dog. I have no problem with that. A lot of cats have a problem with him calling out Floyd Mayweather. Who fucking cares? The fight's not gonna happen anyway, right? I don't expect motherfuckers to not say nothing if they feel like somebody's, you know, kind of trying to belittle their abilities and their skill sets. And that's what Floyd was low-key trying to do when he responded, right? So, I mean, hey, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But the one that matters is the one that came after. Vasyl Lomachenko reneged on the notion that he was calling out Floyd Mayweather and said, nah, you know what I'm saying, that picture was for your little fighter, Mr. Tank Davis. Now, that right there I support 100%. Because I told y'all cats months ago, I believe it was like fucking May of this year, right? That Tank Davis is not trying to see no Vasyl Lomachenko and this motherfucking bullshit that this nigga's still in the same division as a cat that other motherfuckers are saying are better, is one of the best fighters in the sport, and he's got much less fights than you do, right? If I'm sitting in a division and I'm undefeated, I'm the champion. Of course, he's not champion no more, but at this time, he was the champion, right? I think he had just beat Liam Walsh when I made that video, right? But you undefeated, you champion. You got a nigga in your fucking division who's, you know, the boxing consensus says is the top dog of your division. Everyone believes he's better than you. He's got less fights than you, right? Not only do they think he's better than you, but they say he's the best fighter in the world, pound for pound, right? Motherfuckers was saying that back then about Vasyl Lomachenko. It's only just increased now that he beat Guillermo Rigondeaux. You see what I'm saying? If I'm Tank and all of those things are, you know, are happening on my watch, nigga, I'm trying to fight that dude. I don't care how old I am and I don't care how old that dude is. My main goal is to show motherfuckers, hey, ain't nobody fucking with me, right? That's the fighter's mentality, right? I put the audio of an interview Floyd Mayweather and Tank had. I believe it was after the Liam Walsh fight. Don't quote me, YouTube. It could have been after he beat Jose Pedraza and became champ. I can't remember. But a female interviewer asked Tank Davis directly, you're gonna be hearing names like Vasyl Lomachenko, you know, are you looking to make that fight or take that fight? Paraphrasing, of course, but that's in a nutshell what she said. This nigga Floyd stepped up, was like, hey, Tank, nigga, sit down, nigga. Matter of fact, hey, here go these building blocks, my nigga. Go over there at the little man table, play with these building blocks while I answer this question. Pretty much what he told him. Like, the nigga just stepped in front of Tank, was like, I'll take this little nigga. Come on, man. And then, of course, Floyd proceeded to say that, in a nutshell, they not looking at Vasyl Lomachenko because they don't have to rush, right? Tank Davis is like 21 years old. I don't know how old the little nigga is, but he's like 21, 22, right? Vasyl Lomachenko is 30, I believe. He's saying, hey, we ain't got to rush. Basically saying we can wait till Vasyl Lomachenko's old and decrepit. You know what I'm saying? Nigga got wrinkles. Motherfuckers applying for an AARP card. Then we'll be ready to fight him. That's basically what Floyd said. The fuck out of here. You got a fighter who's a champion in the same division as this motherfucker, and people are saying your fighter is not the best fighter in that division. The fuck you mean you'll wait till this nigga get older? Of course, Vasyl Lomachenko don't have to rush. We understand that, right? We understand, or he does have to rush. We understand that. He's a bit older. He stayed in the amateur circuit a little bit too long, and he became a professional, a little bit too late. Later than what the normal professional turns professional at, right? But come on, man. Where's your morals, dog? Where's your fucking, you know, your ability to display the fighter's mentality, right? I understand that you're a promoter now, but you were once a fighter. And when you were Tank's age, you consistently said that you wanted to fight the best. You always said that shit, right? And they put you in a fucking in a ring for a title fight against Gennaro Hernandez at a tender age. So why can't we do the same thing for Gervonta Davis? Jose Pedraza was never shit in my opinion. I thought Pedraza lost to Edner Cherry. You know what I'm saying? So when they announced that fight, I knew he was going to beat the shit out of him. Whereas when we look at your career, Floyd, Gennaro Hernandez was a dominant champion. Right? A lot of motherfuckers thought you was going to lose that fight. They thought you were too green. The same thing that some people might say about Gervonta Davis, which actually adds salt to the fucking wound. Because if you look at their resumes, Vasyl Lomachenko is supposed to be the guy that's green, not Tank. Tank has more fights than him. He has more experience. Right? So why are we treating Tank like he's the nigga that's supposed to be green? That's a problem there. That's a problem from your perspective, right? Now, most boxing pundits, when we look at Vasyl Lomachenko, and we look at how good he is, we look at how he's looked against certain fighters, well, the majority of us are going to say Tank can't beat him, right? But you're not supposed to be thinking that. Neither is Tank. Now, of course, I understand the business aspect. You got you a pretty decent fighter under your brand. You want to keep him undefeated and as popular as you can for a long period of time, right? It increases the revenue that you can bring in with that particular fighter. I completely understand the business side. You know what I'm saying? But you got to understand, his image can be tainted the more he doesn't take fights that the fans want to see him in. Okay? And eventually, the way Tank is, I think eventually, man, he's going to be tired of being coddled like a baby. You know what I'm saying? He's already a fucking hothead. You know? I think eventually he's going to be tired of being coddled like a baby. Right now, he's not. You know what I'm saying? Right now, he's riding the Floyd Mayweather train. Right? He's allowing you to do whatever you want to do with his career. Right? But I think eventually, man, as he becomes older, he's still fighting, and he gets tired of not being seen as the best, because he will not. As long as Vasyl Lomachenko is active, people are going to remember how Tank Davis did not fight Vasyl Lomachenko. Understand that. They're going to remember that. And they're always going to use it against him. Doesn't matter if Tank Davis moves up to 135, which is what they're talking about, because he missed weight in his last fight. So they're talking about moving to 135. There's been plenty of talks about Tank fighting Robert Easter Jr. possibly at 135. It doesn't matter if he goes all the way up to 147. They're still going to say, hey, he didn't fight the best fighter in the world when he could have. You know, Floyd Mayweather still gets dinged for not fighting, what the fuck is that motherfucker's name that went to jail? Damn, motherfucker just slipped my mind right now. But skinny ass dude went to jail and shit. Paul Spadafora, right? Now, I know what happened with that. They were supposed to fight, I believe, early 2005, if I'm not mistaken. They were supposed to fight. Paul Spadafora ended up getting in some legal trouble. I think that's when he stabbed his girlfriend and shit, and he ended up having to go to jail. And then Floyd Mayweather took another fight. But he never looked back. He said, nope, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? He still gets dinged for that every once in a while. You still hear motherfuckers that respect Floyd Mayweather say, yeah, he didn't fight Paul Spadafora. He didn't fight Paul Williams when he could have, right? He didn't fight Timothy Bradley when he could have. He still gets dinged for that. But see, the difference between Floyd and what I believe will come of Tank Davis is that Tank will never achieve what Floyd Mayweather has. Floyd Mayweather has done so much with his career that it kind of supersedes some of the bad things or the negatives that have happened within his career, right? Beating 26 world champions, former and current, right? He's 50-0, right? He's been a lineal champion in 3 different weight classes, right? You know what I'm saying? So he's done things in the sport that supersede the negative. Tank has not, and to be honest with you, given Tank's style, I don't think he ever will. You know, in order to replicate what Floyd has done, he's got to fight guys that will give him a major challenge. And I think he will lose the majority of those type of fights. So Tank, basically what I'm saying in a nutshell, does not have the ability, in my opinion, nor does he look to have the potential to get that particular ability to where he can achieve accolades in this sport that will get people to forget that he didn't fight Vasyl Lomachenko, who was seen as one of the best fighters in the world in under 10 fights at that time. He didn't fight him. They won't forget about it, right? Now, a little bit more before I end this shit. I remember an interview where the interviewer told Tank that Gervonta Davis was gonna fight Lomachenko. And the look on Tank's face was like one of fucking amazement. He was like, what? For real? You know, Tank kind of talked like he a slow motherfucker. But that's how a lot of these young niggas talk nowadays. They talk, you know, all slow and shit. They all talk like they fucking sleepy, right? Like they all on mollies. That's how they all talk nowadays. And he was like, what? For real, yo? For real? That's what he said. He was amazed. And the first thing that came to my mind when seeing that was like, nigga, you should be like, nah, fuck that. That's my lunch. That's my food, nigga. I ain't letting no motherfucker from 122 come up to 130 and take my food, nigga. That motherfucker ain't taking my lunch ticket. For you old heads out there, y'all know what I'm talking about, man. When we was in elementary school, we had to have the lunch trays. A nigga didn't have no money. We had the lunch trays, man. Motherfuckers take your lunch tray. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Shit, at that point in time, that's what we was looking at it. We was looking at it just like that. Damn, Gervonta Davis about to move up, take this nigga lunch tray. You know what I'm saying? I got the same criticism for Alida Alvarez, and I'll talk about that in a separate video. But I got the same fucking criticism about him. You know what I'm saying? This nigga took step aside money again to allow Badu Jack to take his motherfucking lunch tray. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying, man? As long as these cats still try to do the Floyd Mayweather blueprint that he used after he had already established himself, right? As long as motherfuckers are trying to do that when they haven't established themselves yet, well then they will continue to get ridiculed and criticized, right? Look at Danny Garcia right now. Shit don't make no fucking sense, man. Tank, get your ass in the ring with Vasyl Lomachenko, man. This nigga calling you out all over social media, dog. Shit is fucking embarrassing, nigga. Get in the fucking ring with him. YouTube, do what you do in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this shit, man. Should Tank Davis immediately respond by basically saying, hey, draw up a contract, my nigga, and I'll sign it. We gonna fight first quarter or second quarter next year. Do what you do in the comment section. Be real. Real talk for real fans. One.